Hello, I'm ABX2Cat and welcome back to another second channel video. Today I wanted to talk about monetization on YouTube. This is a subject I know that a lot of people are confused about, and I don't really blame you because YouTubers don't really want to talk about it, myself included, because this is how we make our living, you know, and it's kind of awkward and confusing to talk about that sometimes, but I figured just to clear everything up and to let you know about how the future's going to be going with YouTube, I would make today's video and explain monetization on YouTube, how it works now, how it worked in the past, and how it's going to probably be working in the future. So please do like the video if you do like it. Actually, it's the second channel, so I don't care. And let's get straight into it, shall we, by talking about the YouTube Partner Program as a concept. Because when it first came out back in May of 2007, it was this revolutionary idea, because if you look at any other social media, let's take the next 5 biggest, I'm going to make them off my head here, but if you look at Twitter, you look at Facebook, you look at Vine, you look at Instagram, you look at Tumblr, you look at any big social network, none of them pay you to upload, to make content for them or to be big on that platform, except for YouTube. If you have 1 million Twitter followers, it means nothing. You might be able to direct that to your website or something like that, but by itself, you don't make money for having a really popular tweet. You don't make money for having a really popular Vine. You don't make money for having a really popular Instagram video. And on Facebook, you have to pay money if you want to have a popular post. But on YouTube, it actually does work that way. So if you have, a video of 1 million views, you make a little bit of money. YouTube pays you 55% of the revenue from the thing. And yeah, that was the whole idea behind the YouTube Partner Program, because YouTube had been around for a couple of years before they introduced money to the game, and people uploaded videos, but it'd be like once every couple of weeks, like, hey guys, I'm just, here's me doing something wacky. And if you watch videos from back then, you can see there's definitely more of a spontaneous, but definitely a lower bar of production quality to the thing. Then when the YouTube Partner Program came around back in 2007, people realized, wait a minute, because it was really select at the time, but like 100 of the biggest channels were just like, wait, we're just going to make make money from this thing that we were doing before. It's like if, any other social media. Imagine if someone's just like, oh, I'm going to pay you to make those Facebook posts you make. And you're like, oh, that's pretty sweet. And that's basically how YouTube worked, because they were the very first big one to just be like, yeah, we're going to pay you 55% of what we make, which is somewhat generous, I think, because, they introduced ads at the same time. But the thing you got to bear in mind is back in 2007, they only had the, what are those ads called? I think they're called like banner ads, the ones at the bottom, roughly where this Mob Crush logo is. Those ads actually don't pay anywhere nearly as much as the ads, that would come later. The pre-roll ads from like 2008, 2009 actually do. So bear in mind that although there was a slight explosion in 2007, I'd say 2008, 2009 is when you'll see a lot of the big channels from today, or, a lot of channels like that, started to kick up because they realized, wait a minute, so if I put all this time in and I actually do it, then there's a actually big financial reward. And that's how kind of people work. Lots of people will just make YouTube videos anyway, and, I was doing it back then anyway too. But, when it turns out that you're going to make money from it, it incentivizes people to upload more, which again is why you'll see channels like, if you look at, to name a few, like if you look at Philip DeFranco, if you look at any of the big vloggers, if you look at the channels that's been around 2005, I can't remember their name, they do sketch videos and their gaming channel, Smosh, if you look at them, they all kind of started way early on, but they got really serious right when the partner program started, and that's because people like receiving money for the things they spend lots of time doing. So that's how the partner program started. It was revolutionary, and it kickstarted YouTube in a serious way, and YouTube's been growing a lot year by year since then. And obviously, if 2010 gaming channels could have partnerships because of stuff with Machinima, that's kind of separate to the whole argument, but I just think it's worth saying that I think I only started being partnered in 2012. It was 2012 when I got my first partnership. So just, again, before that, I don't have data. But since 2012, and I believe a little bit earlier than that, revenue has been going down. Because back at the very peak of YouTube, 2010-ish, you used to make a lot of money for every view because you had your pre-rolls, you had the bomb ad, and they were both paying very well. However, because YouTube's expanded so much since then, I don't even know the percentages, but I imagine it's double digits every single year. YouTube's been expanding massively, which means more inventory. And a lot of that inventory has been going onto mobile and being onto TVs and stuff, which are really, really hard to sell people on. So obviously, more inventory, less people being interested in the inventory that exists, means that every, ad pays less, because that's how ad works. So you don't know. Google's AdSense program is kind of like auctioning for ads, where basically if no one wants to buy at $7, they'll be like, anyone want it at $6? Anyone want it at $5? Anyone want it at $4? And then so on and so forth, for instance. Basically, it's not that simple at all. It's a really complex system. Look up AdSense if you really care about that. But yeah, so basically, because the number of people with ads, because the partner program's been expanding, has been going up, the quality has been kind of going down because of mobiles, because of TVs, consoles, etc. It means that we're in the situation where, compared to like 4 years ago, the revenue that YouTube ads themselves receive has been going down quite a bit. And although for me, I'm personally kind of fine from this, because you can see I'm living at home with my parents right now. I don't actually have proper expenses. Channels that decided to go all in on making a living in 2009, but didn't do amazingly successful. Like, if you look at the Smosh, like I mentioned, they're making millions, they're fine. But if you look at a channel that's making like 1,000 or like let's say 2,000 a month back in 2010, and they're doing roughly the same as they are then they're going to be making a lot less from that, and they're seeing this stuff skydive. So at the same time as these people are trying to make a living, so this is most channels, again, not necessarily including me, but it's just kind of the trend here. So at the same time as YouTube revenues are decreasing, what has been happening is all these other sites, again, this is like the last 5 years, have started to have sponsored content. Because I did mention earlier how on Twitter, how on Facebook, how on Vine, whatever, all the ones, all the other social networks, you wouldn't make money before. And although that was, it's fine, like build a social presence and maybe make a website, now it's really turned into this big thing. If you have a big Vine channel, like there are people on Vine that are millionaires just from integrated ads. Because what people, big companies, instead of making a YouTube ad that's seen by 100,000 people on lots of random videos, they can make this one guy that the people actually like. So instead of Snickers having the weird Snickers ad they pay millions to make, etc., they can just pay, this Vine guy, let's say 10,000, and, he eats his Snickers, it's as simple as that, and then, it suddenly gets 1 million plays or something like that, for instance. You get the point, but they can, advertisers really like this format of integrated ads. It's really tricky as far as ethics go, and I think something anyone, if you're a YouTube content creator and watching this, make sure you read up on the guidelines in your country. In the UK, there's something called the ASA, the Advertising Standards Agency. Make sure you read up on that because 1, it's ethical, and 2, it's the law. So anyway, that's besides the point. So, yeah, something that's been happening over the last few years is as well, YouTube's revenue's been going down, and what's been happening is every other social network's integrated ads have been going up. So, obviously, you look at your revenue going down, you see other people's revenue going up, and something that's been happening more and more as a result of that is integrated ads on YouTube. So, yeah, like I mentioned, you only get paid, actually, I didn't mention this, you only get paid for about a third of your views on YouTube. In my case, I think it was about 40% in December. Maybe 50% if it was really lucky. But yeah, you don't get paid on most video views you actually get. You get paid on about a third of them. And again, the revenue on those views will be going down. But with these higher revenue per view ads, because they're integrated and they're ads that pay on every single view, people have been kind of taking to integrated content on YouTube. So a lot of channels have been based around this concept over the past few years. You look at Linus Tech Tips, you look at any tech channel, they need to make a lot of revenue to pay all these staff and buy all these products. So basically, they have the ad at the beginning and the start, and the Google AdSense money, what used to be these YouTubers like, oh yeah, we're rich now, or like making a living now, that's just kind of bonus money that might buy something every now and then. But the reality is, most YouTubers now, if they're a big YouTuber or if you're a medium-sized YouTuber, are actually making money from integrated ads in the video. You might not notice them in some cases, but, it's a thing. Do you remember the big scandal? Well, you might not, but there was a big scandal because lots of vloggers, UK vloggers, were selling Oreos to kids by just being like, these Oreos sure are good. Or it was a lot more complex than that, but you get the point. Basically, integrated ads are coming. They are already, I guess integrated ads are here, but they're going to be coming more and more because the thing is, YouTube is starting to accept them a bit more. The YouTube Partner Program is kind of dying away because although it is still a lot of people's way of making a full-time living, if you look at Minecraft channels in particular, like myself, it's still 90% of what what I make in a year or a month or whatever. But the truth is, YouTube revenue is kind of the dying breed of how you make money on YouTube because it's always going to be going down, down, down. And like I said, I'm doing quite well right now as far as the views on YouTube go. But even for a staggering amount like that, it's like, oh, you get that much then. And the basic point I'm trying to make here, I'm not trying to make this about me in any way. I'm going to be hopefully doing fine regardless, but something you're going to have to accept if you're watching YouTube videos right now is that you're going to be seeing more integrated ads. YouTube is going to be trying to work their way around that because obviously they've got the YouTube Red platform. But yeah, integrated ads are becoming more and more of a thing. Be prepared now because they're just, I think they're just the future of advertising. Like if you look at TV, the sponsors before videos and stuff usually happen that way. And to me, it just seems like the logical evolution. But I don't know. I think I ran out of words to say, so let me know in the comments down below what you think about anything I said in there. Hopefully I didn't come across too terribly. Again, I really don't want to make this about me. I just want to make this about YouTube as a platform. It's a really cool thing to watch, and it's really interesting to see. And, yeah, hopefully lots of YouTubers, again, that are on the edge actually do fine from this. And that's everything I have to say. So thank you very much for watching the video. Also, the reason this is the reason diversifying from YouTube is the reason I do Mobcrush streams, and also why I might be playing on sponsored servers from time to time, because January in particular is a terrible month for revenue. This is something I entirely forgot actually. The fluctuation in from month to month is also something that can really screw you if you want to do this monthly, because in December in January you make about a quarter, a third of what you make in December, which is a big decrease. Imagine if you go to work in January and like, oh, so we're just going to pay you a third this month, no reason. And yeah, that's why in January you might see particularly more integrated ads, and in December you might see less. So I think that's everything I have to say. Hopefully you did all enjoy it. This is a little sneak peek into YouTube. And if you hate it, I'll just remove the video and pretend it never existed. I'm just kidding. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. How do I